All right, welcome back, Inebri-ites. Welcome to the Inebri-art podcast. I am your host, Andy, and we are recording at Mayflower Brewery today because our other location is going through a remodel, an unplanned remodel. That's probably the best way to put it. And so we brought on a new town artist who's fresh from Texas. She's not a Texan. And so Kat,
correct,
from Inky Hand Studios. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks.
So you were in Texas.
Mm-hmm. I was.
What brought you to Plymouth?
The ocean called me back home. No.
But this isn't home because you're originally from Jersey.
No, yeah, I'm originally from Jersey. My entire childhood was brought up to Cape Cod, the South Shore, and so I was spoiled with the beaches and the summer weather. And
so did you grow up with Snooki and The Situation? And
yeah, that show was on. That definitely started in my late teen years and into my early 20s, and so I never went to the Jersey Shore.
Just because
that's what the Jersey Shore is.
Because you're fuck those people.
Yeah.
So you are a screen print artist.
I am.
What? How did you get there? Not screen printing as in making T-shirts and hats. You do fine art with screen print.
Right. Yeah. One of the few and far between still.
Yeah, it's not a lot of people that do that.
Yeah, I was a graphic design major, digital artist in my undergraduate studies, and I was not thrilled with the export of my artwork with the digital printer. Mm-hmm. And I started going to music gigs all the time, and suddenly I saw these gig posters that were printed by hand, and I was buying them up. And I found a printmaking class at my school, my last semester of my last year, and begged the professor to teach me screen printing, but he had everything in storage because no one had asked him to learn it in 10 years.
So, no kidding.
Yeah, so it was specifically an etching class, and so I, of course, went to all the classes, learned etching, but after hours he would break out all the silkscreen equipment for me, and then he would just teach me how to do that.
And was it you instantly fell in love with the process? Because it is a process. It's not just...
Yeah, it's not just...
It lacks kind of the gratification of drawing where you're I'm done.
100%. The series I've been working on has taken... the drawings have taken 2 weeks, and the prints have taken, so far, 2 weeks. And I'm looking at another week of finishing.
Wow.
Yeah, just with some finishing touches, like debossing and then the signing. There's 200 prints total, so.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's, once I feel like a print is a commitment.
Yeah.
Is what it feels like.
And it's, I love, and I first, became aware of screen printing because of concert posters, and, so it's a very long process. Why do something like concert posters that are meant to be thrown away silkscreened?
Turns the poster into art.
Yeah.
I mean, posters I think have always been art for the masses. That's what
Right.
I've always loved about poster art, but they're cheap, and 500 to 1,000 people can own the same piece of art.
And do you think it's because you can kind of just recreate it over and over and over and over again?
Yeah, it's the repetition. I think that's why it came back. It was more than just hitting print.
Yeah.
It was, people came to a show and they collected each poster. I know the ones I collected, each one was made for the show you went to. So.
Oh, right, yeah.
So
it's the band, usually there's the band, maybe the opening act, the date, the time, the location. So they're very here and now.
Yeah, good, really amazing collector's items, actually, than just holding on to the ticket stub. It's get another piece for your wall.
Right, they used to have them for sale at Newbury Comics.
Yes.
And then, for whatever reason, they just took them out, and I'm that was my favorite thing there.
Right. Yeah.
Did you have a favorite screen print poster artist that really?
Oh, Methane. They're out of near Atlanta.
Yeah.
Right outside of Atlanta. But
did they have a particular band that they did work for?
yeah, okay. I obsessed with Dave Matthews Band. So that's really, I know, everyone's so surprised about that. But those are the posters that really got me into Silkspur. So I guess I owe my career to Dave Matthews Band, kind of.
So was it the band or was it the artist?
It was the artist, yeah. Methane, they did, and still to this day, Dave Matthews Band gets other artists to do their posters for shows, but they always seem like they're working on a new one, which makes me think that they are still the main poster designer. Yeah,
and I feel like now when you get to that level, there's instead of 200 posters, maybe 4,000 posters.
Yeah, they're at a significant level where just kind of bow down. There are machines that assist with printing, so I'd love to see some of these studios that put out 1,000 to 5,000 prints.
You don't own those machines?
I don't. No, I'm still pulling the old-fashioned way with my elbows.
Have you done concert posters?
Never a concert poster. I've done theater posters.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, that was after. So I graduated. My senior thesis, the visual thesis, was digitally drawn images that were then printed. So it's kind of the beginning step to what I do now. And then after that, I wanted to continue. So I took night classes at School of Visual Arts in New York, and that's when a theater company, it was a not-for-profit theater company, they wanted almost like a gig poster for every show, and I just wanted to print. So
it gave you kind of a way to build your portfolio?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then sure enough, after a couple of years of that, I had this full portfolio. I was able to apply to a master's program in printmaking.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
A lot of your work is based around national parks.
Yes.
So what's the story behind that? Like, why?
Oh my gosh. So I'm obsessed. But it started, I was living in London, and that time was coming to an end, and it did come to an end, and I moved back stateside, and I had moved to Texas to be near family, but I ended up in Dallas. Definitely not.
The art and creative hotbed of Texas.
It's a bit different than Austin. I wasn't having any of it. Coming from London, England to Dallas, Texas.
That had to be a little culture shock.
The smallish. Yeah, it was a revert. It was a culture shock. So I got in the car my first summer. It was also like 110 degrees out, and I melt. So, but I ended up in some funny places. I ended up in the desert, which was odd. But so I got in the car and I just started driving. I had never done the Great American Road Trip, and so I figured, why
so not? You just were like, I need to get out.
I just need to get out.
And you ended up at a national park?
Yeah, I ended up at Rocky Mountain National Park. Like the first, I drove all day for like 15 hours to Colorado and ended up Rocky Mountain National Park for a few days.
Was that your destination, or were you just in the car?
No, I was on the road for 5 weeks. I had done some planning, and then things changed, and suddenly I was hooked. It was just like, I didn't want to leave, and then I was like, oh, well, let's go to the next, where's the closest national park from here?
What is your favorite national park?
Oh, my gosh. Zion and Bryce Canyon in Utah. Zion's a little busy, but Bryce Canyon, it's the darkest sky in the country, so you can see the
darkest
stars.
Sky.
Yeah.
Oh, like there's no light pollution?
There's no light pollution.
Okay.
So the stars are incredible. I feel like once you see it.
Is that the basis for your print that you have that's all like stars in the night sky?
Yep. Yeah, and that one glows in the dark.
The print, not the sky.
Yeah, the print.
Yeah. So is that something that you kind of look to add to your prints? Because I know there's one that has kind of like a metallic-y finish, or do you always kind of look for new inks or pigments? What are you? What are they?
Inks, pigments, embellishments too.
Yeah.
I absolutely love seeing what's put out there. There's a whole range of metallics now, which when you mix them with just your standard colors, you end up with a pearlescent ink. So
that's
it's
cool.
like they're just. I mean, there's so much you can do, and I feel like I haven't even touched on it, and I've been doing it for a long time.
So, walk us through. We have a simple 3-color image.
All right.
What's step one?
All right. Step one, well, is having your image. The print is never going to be better than the artwork you're starting with.
Okay.
So you have
I suppose,
to, like,
it's not like a painting that you can kind of like tweak at the end.
Yeah.
Like you have to start with kind of the finished piece.
Yeah, you have to start with kind of the finish. You have to make sure everything overlaps perfectly. Each color in the print has to be its own separate artwork.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to have that in mind. You can't, well...
So like each layer or color
Yeah.
should look finished?
Yeah, ready to go on the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then from there, once all the artwork's ready, you coat a screen. Now, there's definitely different approaches to the process. I definitely take a more, I don't know, it's more of a, I guess, a gig type of commercial approach to it.
Yeah.
Where it's all planned out, and then I go through as a printer, publisher, basically, and create the print based off of the artwork that I have.
So is it something that you coat the screen?
Yeah, it's an emulsion. It's a UV-sensitive emulsion. You coat the screen with a super thin coat.
Mm-hmm.
You let that dry, light, dark area, so no light affects it. And then you expose the emulsion-coated screen to UV light, and your artwork acts as a block for the light. It's a stencil at that point, pretty much, when it goes onto the screen.
Yeah.
And so mine's in black. It can be you can hand cut your stencils from Ruby Lith. You can, there's so many different ways, but I find black is really great to work with. It just blocks it completely. And from there, then you wash it out with water after it's exposed. And
so then the areas that were blocked once you wash it are no longer covered with the emulsion, right?
Yeah, that just washes completely out. And then when it's dry, your emulsion is a very sturdy barrier. It keeps ink from going through the screen where it's not supposed to go. Mine tends to withstand about 100 pulls, so it can keep going for a while.
And so it must break down after a while?
Yeah.
And then you start to get like weird spots?
It starts to break down. You get ink where you don't want it to go, and on the nice margins of the paper sometimes. And so you have to really, like, as you're printing, be watching, what's going on around your image, not just in your image.
And so then when you do the next, so that's one color.
Yep.
So when you do your next color, you have to do a separate screen in the same process. How do you line up one color on top of the other?
I do it through the screen. So I have my artwork for each layer. I put that on top of the print. I line it up, tape it down, and then I line it up through a screen. And then voila, it's registered.
And then you're ready to go.
You can also, there's an acetate method where you print onto acetate, you line it up through that every time. If I'm doing a big edition of, say, like 100, I just want it to go.
To be done, yeah.
One after another, like I'm a printing machine.
I saw a piece, or several, and that's the thing is when you're done, you don't have one piece, you have multiple pieces.
Yeah.
Where they didn't register, and that was kind of like part of the thing. Like, is that something that you've ever tried? So like each image is the same yet different. So there was like 2 or 3 colors, and they just kind of loosely like put it down and didn't like.
Oh, so it was offset. That's
so
pretty...
so like everything was, again, it was like kind of eyeballed.
Yeah.
So everything was, when it was done, you're like, this is all the same image, but they definitely each had kind of their own character.
Yeah, but each one's
yeah.
I mean, that kind of plays into the edition rules, I think. I mean, I would think they're all one-off pieces then.
So
it's like
what's
that.
an edition rule?
I don't know. Well, everything that goes into edition should be pretty much spot on to the same print that's in the edition.
So when you have an edition and the artist decides how many prints are in the edition, they should all be identical?
Pretty much. As
Or
identical
as
as a
you can make 'em?
handmade print can be, yeah. So when they're not, I mean, when you have incredibly varied prints, you can have a varied edition.
Yeah.
And then you get into all this numbering.
Is there like a minimum to be considered like a minimum amount to be an edition?
No,
So you could do
I've
like
seen
you
two.
could do like two.
I've seen four. Yeah. One is one out of one. That's
It's
a unique.
not really-
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
that's
not
not
an
an edition,
edition.
yeah.
But yeah, you can do two. I've seen that.
Yeah. And so you've been able, with your travels and whatnot, you hang all over the place, right?
Yeah.
So where have you hung, and like what's the one that you're like, I can't believe I hung? Like, is there one that kind of blew you away? Or, I mean, other than the Inebri-art Winterfest show.
Oh,
you know.
that show got me to Plymouth. Didn't it? Let's see. Well, I love my galleries in Hong Kong and London. I mean, I never thought I'd ever have the chance, to go to Hong Kong. Asia's always been a kind of a dream destination. And when I started working at the gallery out there, it was suddenly like, I have to go. It wasn't.
Now, do you mail stuff out to them?
I do, yeah, in a durable tube. Imagine.
Like, so not even framed.
Not even. No. It's usually when I'm sending a shipment, there's about 20 prints.
Mm-hmm.
So I go for like a 1.5 foot wide tube.
Yeah.
And just get as much.
Get as many in there, and then they mail you a check or whatever.
In perfect condition. Sometimes they don't, so I have to send out some others.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I think those were, and the fact that I still do some, work with London. I'm so thankful.
So how did you get involved in Hong Kong?
The gallerist saw my work with the gallery in London.
Oh, and
print is kind of. I mean, it's almost like a small world. It's kind of everyone kind of sees print at different places, and then kind of bring it together. It seems like.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Yeah,
so do you actively seek out other galleries, or do you just kind of like?
So I was for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I should actively seek out more shows, more galleries, but I'm really busy.
Yeah.
Right now, and so the days keep going by, and I don't.
I hear you. It's and God forbid there's like one day where I do nothing. I'm like, I'm so lazy. I'm the worst person.
Yes. Even though, I mean, you're allowed a day off.
Yeah. I don't know if I am.
No, I don't know.
Yeah.
Right?
I feel like I don't allow myself a day off. But so you open this new gallery.
Yep.
And studio. It's an amazing space that you just kind of fell into, and I don't mean that in a bad way. That's just how it happened.
Yep.
You're directly across from Plymouth Memorial Hall. You're in the heart of tourist land. How was your first summer?
It was good.
Yeah?
Yeah. And I've had 4 lessons.
Yeah.
Actually, 2 short courses.
I've already
one-day
had
lessons.
an artist reach out to me and wants a show of work she has done at your class.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that'll be happening.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
She did really good work.
Yeah. Oh, she's so nice.
She's so nice too. But it went really well. And sales-wise, I mean, what I love about being back in the Northeast, everyone knows. Well, everyone. I have not had one person ask me what silkscreen is.
Oh, really?
And it's funny. It's almost regional because I did art fairs in Texas for 4 years, and I felt like nobody knew what it was.
Like you spent half your time explaining it. Been like, why is this one so expensive when that's the same one right over there?
Yes. It's like, well, that was made by hand. So that was, I noticed this summer, nobody asked me. So I was like, all right, well, I'm in the right location, I think.
Yeah.
Like in terms of, region. And, and still open, going strong.
Nice. That's awesome.
But I figured,
And you have your sign permit insurance all straightened out, whatever that was about.
Giving him this cold stare right
Yeah. Well, and that's one of
It's
those.
getting there. I should have one by next summer.
Yeah. Everyone has those things that you don't expect when you open a business. But it was like some weird, like someone told you needed something, you didn't need it.
Yep. And then all of a sudden, I'm back at square one.
Sign off from the historical.
Yeah.
Was that what it was?
Yep. I need to go in front of the board of members.
Yeah.
And present my case for my sign. I mean, I think the sign should happen because it's going to be a 2-foot by 48-inch squeegee.
So it's not a huge.
So it's just kind of radical because it's a silkscreen squeegee.
Oh, so it's just going to be like the squeegee is going to say Inky Hands on it?
Yep.
Oh, nice. That'd be kind of cool.
If it happens. I mean, I don't want to jinx it. I'm going to knock on some wood right now. But,
right.
I mean, that's
don't knock
what
on
the
the
plan
table.
Right?
I didn't explain the
Hopefully
rules to her.
Hopefully the board likes it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, don't knock on the table.
Yeah, that's fine. Someone else was like, I want to knock on wood, but you told me not to knock on the table. I'm like, well, when you say knock on wood, it's okay if there's wood knocking. Yeah, it's. Did you run into that type of stuff in Dallas, or was it more just like, we don't care what you do?
No, it was more, I mean, this is the first time I've had street presence.
Yeah.
The first studio was in a mall that was totally derelict.
Like, were you across from, like, Record Town? I can't say Record Town. That's not a thing anymore.
Oh.
FYE. Were you across from FYE?
The mall was so empty that FYE wasn't even there anymore.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
It was that.
Yeah.
It was this, like, the wrecking ball was coming through.
Yeah.
Well, I was there for a little over a year, so it didn't really come through until I started looking for a new place.
And so you run classes.
Yep.
And what kind of classes do you offer?
All kinds, for all commitment levels, I say. I do really intensive courses, which are 4 days out of the month, 12 hours total, so 3 hours each. By the end of that course, most of my students are totally self-sufficient in the process.
So they can handle...
Yeah, they can come back and rent space if they need.
So if I am a competent screen printer, I can just call you up and rent some time in the studio instead of like having to set up a studio?
Yep. Yeah,
nice.
That was this all based off of, I mean, so many studios I used overseas. And when I returned back to the States, it was, I mean, well, Dallas didn't have any, but it just seemed so surprising that, I mean, there was a major city that they didn't have something like this.
Yeah. Yeah,
so kind of just, a print center. Like, you can come learn, you can come rent, you can come shop, you can come just see what's going on, and you can come. I also, I publish for other people. So
what do you mean?
So somebody can come at me with a design job or a print idea, and I will make it happen.
So, like, if I had a poster,
Yep.
if I had the artwork, I could be like, turn this into posters.
Correct.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So no time to learn, no time to print. Just don't like doing it, but you want the final product.
Want the final product.
Yeah.
So, in the printmaking world, if I did the art and brought it to you and said, make this into posters, now is that your art or my art?
That's your art. I'm the publisher.
You're the publisher?
Yeah. I could put a blind stamp on that if you wanted.
A blind stamp?
It's
like a invisible ink?
Yeah, it's like it's a blind emboss into the paper. Yeah, but it's the studio's mark if you wanted to give credit to the studio for printing it, but it is the artist's work.
Now, do you get a lot of work like that?
Not really.
No.
Here and there.
I know you were doing invitations to someone's wedding, but was that just like for a friend thing, or is that something that you do a lot?
Yeah, that was for a friend.
Yeah.
It was a paid gig, but I've got a great friend.
Nice. So if someone... Is there kind of like a teenage starter level way of getting into screen printing? Like, is there something... So I have kids. If one of my kids came to me and been like, I want to start screen printing, and I didn't have the option of going to you and being like, teach my child to do screen printing. Is there a way that you can kind of give them the experience without having to like invest thousands of dollars, like somewhere between screen printing and printing with potatoes?
Totally. You can actually build your own home press for like $20.
Really?
Yeah. Just get a 2 by 2 foot MDF board from one of the DIY shops. And then
You can say Home Depot.
I can. I mean, there's also Lowe's.
There's Lowe's. You can go to Lowe's.
But all the listeners that aren't in the U.S.
Oh, that's true. We do have them.
I remember you said so.
Yeah.
Yeah, so MDF board. You get some clamps.
Yeah.
There are special silkscreen clamps. You just run a search online. You can get them from $10 to $20. And then screw them in. Voila, you've got your little press. And then you can get a pre-made screen from any art supply shop, really, at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
which is kind of wild, because I remember when I first learned and I was looking for gear, there was one company that I had to go through.
Oh, really?
And now you can get them from
like anywhere.
all of the suppliers. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I remember when I was in high school, we did it like in an art class, and it was incredibly crude to the point where we were like cutting tape and just like taping off the screens. Is that something that is normal? Is that just kind of like a starter thing, or
that's another way to make your stencils on the screen, especially if you're not doing a lot. So the way I do it, it's easy because I have the setup for it.
Right.
But a lot of schools don't have that kind of space, anything like that. So yeah, you can tape cut newsprint to the screen and run the ink through, or there's something called drawing fluid, which is awesome. You just draw that straight on.
So you draw like right onto the screen?
Right onto the screen, and it hardens, and then you've got your stencil on there.
Nice.
Yeah, so there's all these different ways. You can do a monoprint where you just paint your image right into the screen and then pull one.
Is that something... Would you be able to do hundreds of those, or is that just like a one-off kind of?
One-off, yeah. Okay. More painterly printmaking.
Yeah. And I understand the basics of how it works, but there's somewhere I look at it and go like, I don't even know how you do that, where you almost have colors that blend into one another.
Oh yeah.
Is that multiple screens? Is that something you do with the squeegee?
Yeah, that's
like you don't have to reveal any trade secrets, but
and you have to take a class.
You have to take a class
if you really want to learn anything. Yeah, that's I guess the industry term here is rainbow roll, which I always like.
Rainbow roll?
I know, it's
that
not
is
very like.
Do you know what term I heard the other day that I'd never heard of before, and I feel like it's kind of like a yuppie made up thing? Rainbow baby.
Whoa.
Do you know what a rainbow baby is?
I have no idea what a rainbow baby is.
So, my boss's child is coming up on her first birthday. And I saw this article online where some crazy Australian woman spent $9,000 on her child's first birthday. So, of course, I sent it to my boss being like, come on, man, start pulling your weight. And so the woman's like, we have a reason to celebrate because, our baby's a rainbow baby. And it was a baby that was conceived after a miscarriage, which is kind of like,
wow,
okay, I guess.
I've never
but
heard
like
that.
That's not like an uncommon thing.
Yeah.
It's like I didn't think that was really a thing, so I thought that was strange.
It's a thing now.
But rainbow rolling made me think of that.
Rainbow rolling.
That's what you said, right?
Yeah, it is a rainbow roll, but I like
rainbow
rainbow rolling. I mean,
rainbow rolling is like
every time I.
It was when you screen print on ecstasy.
Rainbow rolling.
So rainbow roll is the term that I screwed up.
Yeah, or gradient.
Gradient.
Yeah.
Is that more difficult? Is that kind of like an advanced level thing? Is it more like it looks harder than it really is?
It's it can be a pain in the ass. Can I say that on this? No.
Oh fuck. Yeah.
Oh yeah. You're blending two or more colors together. So again, going into keeping each print in the edition pretty much the same.
So that's going to be a lot more difficult, right?
Yeah, so you have to keep control over this blend where you have all of these other factors like working against you, which is like when you lift up the screen, now the ink's running down the screen.
Oh,
so
right.
yeah,
Okay,
you've got all of that to keep in mind when you're doing it. And you don't want the colors to get muddy, so you have to keep adding more color, and you use a lot more ink than you would normally
to keep the colors vibrant.
And newsprint. Newsprint is your best friend when you're printing gradients.
What do you use the newsprint for?
That's so that you get the colors flowing together nicely. So you're not wasting the really nice.
Oh, so you kind of
paper.
like those are kind of like your test prints.
Yeah. And you don't really want streaks, so you have to keep doing test prints until it's streak free. And
so, what is an artist edition? or an artist proof?
Oh, yeah, an artist proof. Let's see. It's supposed to be 10% of the edition. So if you've got 100 prints in an edition, you can have 10 artist proofs. An artist print, or artist proof, the artist is free to really do whatever they want with it.
So they can kind of tweak it a little bit.
Yeah.
They
can tweak it. They can. Oh no, yeah, no, it's in the edition still, so it's got to be the same as the edition.
So it's more like you can keep them, you can give them away.
You can give them away. If you hold on to them, and when the edition sells out, they are more valuable because there's less.
Oh, okay.
So you can sell them for more.
Do you find that with screen printing, is there more of a collector's mentality than with other art because of the limited editions and artist proofs and things like that?
Yeah.
Because when you say stuff like that, it makes me think of comic books.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like this is a chromium cover variant. And,
yeah, it is just like that, yeah. I love working in editions because it means more than one person can own the art.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone can enjoy it, and they can enjoy it original.
Right.
So there's the investment, too. I mean, I'm not just an artist myself. I'm a collector. Probably don't always have the money for it, but
right.
I do like buying prints of other artists.
And so you have that same, I spent $400 on this, it's worth $400, opposed to being like, I spent a $20 print, and I probably couldn't get my $20 for it.
Right. Like, let's see, digital, G-Clay, archival inkjet, that's making its way into, or it has made its way into the fine art original print. I think it's great. I think the quality is really good. It's not the same as a handmade print, but it also plays brilliantly together with handmade prints. I think silkscreen and G-Clay work like they're married together. It's perfect. They're both flat. They're both.
Do you ever combine screen printing with other techniques, like maybe drawing on something and then drawing on the paper and then screen printing on it? Is that like something that you've done?
Yeah, afterwards, because
So you screen print and then draw on it?
Yeah, and then draw on it or paint on it or what else has I done on it? I have done the digital with the print. Varnish on top of it. Digital's nice.
Mm-hmm.
You can just taken white paint or ink, but I mixed it with water and then just threw a coat. And you get this, the mark making from that is so unique, and that's what makes a varied edition. If you do that to every single print in the edition, you suddenly have like
because there's no way to make it consistent,
right? Yeah. Same with drawing on the print, as unless you're on a light box and really tracing over your first one, it's still in there. It's not really going to be the same,
right?
So there you end up with a varied edition.
Is there a standardized size to screen printing, or do you kind of...
No.
What size do you like to work in?
Oh, I love larger.
Yeah.
I think it's the image. I would love to silk screen on a wall someday. I need a team of minions for that, though.
I'm just trying to think of how you... Like, I get putting the screen up against the wall, but how do you get the ink to not just
run? You have
fall
to have
off?
thick ink.
Oh, okay.
So, how you mix the ink.
Yeah.
And work fast.
And work fast?
Yeah. I guess I could do vinyl too, but I would just love... I'm looking at this massive wall behind you. I'm like, that would be amazing as a printed mural.
Yeah, there's plenty of room in here.
I know.
I don't know how often they use this room, though.
I do love working large, and right now I think
I feel like it would... I feel like if you tried to do small prints of national parks, it wouldn't make sense.
It doesn't have that... It doesn't have the impact, I feel like. I've just come away... I mean, I just was working on 11 by 11 inch prints, so it's I don't mind... I love having some, quaint little small prints.
What's the smallest print you've ever done?
4 by 6.
That's pretty small.
That's pretty small. I find
you have a little tiny squeegee.
I have the smallest that they make, it's so awkward to work with because you still have to use the same amount of pressure and all of this. So you got this little squeegee and it just bends when you're pressing on it.
Yeah.
But
what is the worst part of what part of printmaking do you dread?
Oh, the power washer.
Yeah.
Mixing electricity and water makes me so nervous. I get that the machine's been made for that, but it's still like I'm working with it indoors, so I'm like totally freaking out every time I turn it on. I'm like double checking, making sure everything's like
I just feel like
the
using
right way.
a pressure washer indoors is crazy to begin with.
I mean, I love my landlord that he was totally cool with it when I like addressed the issue with him.
So, like, how do you even bring that up? Just be like, I'm going to pressure wash.
Yeah, I mean, it started with there was this little empty room that had plumbing, and I was like, oh, this will be perfect for the washout room. And he looked at me and was like, washout room? And I was like, how do you feel about a pressure washer indoors? And he's like, as long as I install it.
Oh, so he's like,
cool.
As long as I do it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
And I was like, that's excellent. My landlords before him were like, no.
So what did you have to do? Did you have to like take it outside?
I just used a garden hose, and so all my screens got messed up. So that's what happens when you don't use the proper equipment. For cleanup, you end up with block screens, and you end up, and you have to get everything restretched, which is money. Everything's really expensive.
Now, once you're done an edition, say you do an edition of 30, and you say the screens are good for 100.
Yeah.
What do you do with the screens?
You reclaim it. Yeah, so that's the gnarly part. It's, I don't know what's in the chemical. It's called reclaimer.
Okay.
And everything's water-based. Totally, everything's environmentally safe. That's what's great about silkscreen now. It was all oil-based, so very hazardous for your health.
Yeah.
So you have this reclaimer, which strips the stencil off, which, of course, that stencil's hardened. You don't usually want it to come off when you're printing, so now you need to get it off.
Yeah.
So I think there's a little bit of acid in it. You spray it on, you rub it in, you wait a few minutes, and then you take the power washer and you blast the screen with it, and it strips the whole stencil off.
And so then you can use the screen again?
Yep.
Oh, that's convenient.
Yeah, the only time you can't reuse that screen is if it's blocked in.
Yeah.
Or it rips.
Okay.
That's devastating.
Is that just from squeeging too aggressively?
No, it's from any sharp object that might come into it.
Oh, so it's more of an act. Oh,
yeah,
I remember,
like the corner of a table, maybe that'll do it.
I did a painting in college that I really liked, and it was just a simple like color value study kind of thing, and it was just abstract, but it was really simple. But I really liked it. Just colors worked well together. And I knocked over T-square one day and it went right through it.
Oh.
And I was just like, oh, that's fucked now. There's nothing I can do. Yeah. I could probably recreate it, I guess.
Yeah.
But, so what's your plans in the future? Like, are you looking to get shows beyond the Malbar?
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. Oh, so I do have a solo show next year.
Oh, yeah? Whereabouts?
Norwell at the Science Center.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. That's
Is it science-based prints?
Well, it'll be a lot of my national park prints.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, environmental prints.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's coming up. Well, not coming up. About a year. There'll be a lot of new work, I think, which I'm excited to have a year to plan for. More open calls. I'm going to start doing that. More print open calls. Prints are easy to send all over, so as well. And I'd love to do next year the Affordable Art Fair. It's in New York.
The Affordable Art Fair.
A lot of prints are there. A lot of print galleries. A lot of print-based artists. So I would love to get the gallery and the studio in there.
Yeah. And how has Plymouth been? Like,
it's good.
Is it art community-wise what you thought it was going to be, or?
Yeah, it's exciting. There's a buzz in Plymouth. I don't know if it's because of the Plymouth 400.
There is a buzz in Plymouth because we drink a lot.
So
we're always buzzed.
Yeah, but I think it's great. I mean, there was a tiny art community in Dallas, but this feels like a massive art community. This is like, even though it's a town, not a city.
It was so like serendipitous about how we met because we were given space for our winter art show. And the landlord's like, oh, you got to talk to this woman. She's going to be renting space for me. She's an artist. And, you're like, yeah, whatever, guy. Just have her contact me. And then you contact me and you showed me your work. I'm like, oh, shit. She's like, yeah, this is good stuff. And then you showed up. And, like, from the second you showed up, I'm like, Kat's going to fit in perfectly in Plymouth. Like, it was just like you were meant to be.
It's true. Here. It was it was like, I usually, when I move, I have a little bit of an adjustment period.
Yeah.
But,
well, Jesse and Eddie are like, we adopted her. I'm like, I saw her first.
Right? I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I felt like I was home immediately.
Yeah.
Which is funny. Yeah, that was...
well, it's because it's America's hometown.
Is. I mean, America... I love the cheese factor over that, too. It's perfect.
It's something about this town. It's so weird that I've never been in a place, and of course there's exceptions to every rule, where everyone is friends and gets along and works together, and it's like I say it all the time, and I'm sure our listeners are like, shut up, but it like if you aren't here, you don't get it. Yeah. And that's kind of that vibe. Like if you're not in Plymouth, you just don't understand.
Yeah. It's everyone's been incredibly welcoming. Everyone gets along. You don't have to go around someone's back. It's like,
I mean, you can just for fun, but right? Like, you don't have to.
You don't have to. Yeah. It's like,
Are you going to? I'm trying to remember if it's happened yet. Are you going to put stuff into the Art Center Guild show?
I am.
Yeah.
I'm hoping these new prints I've been working on.
Nice. Well, you entered something into the Pembroke Art Show.
I did.
And won a ribbon.
I did.
And I was super jazzed because I went to that show and I'm walking around and it was just like, that ribbon, that person comes to life drawing. That ribbon, that person comes to life drawing. That ribbon, that person comes to... There must have been like 5 or 6 people that are in some way affiliated with Inebri-art that had ribbons, and I'm just like,
Plymouth is taking over.
Yeah, I'm like, it's just awesome. It's just such a cool feeling.
I know.
It's like it's so.
Do you see it happening?
And Kenny,
Quincy.
He just got a second one. I think it was Quincy. Yeah. Quincy, he just won his second ribbon, and like he's only really kind of gotten into art in like not
a year,
like seriously, like a year and a half.
It's incredible.
Yeah, and just the nicest friggin' guy.
You know what I love about this area too? You tell someone you're an artist, and everyone's like, "Oh, that's amazing." In Texas, I would tell people I was an artist, and they would be like really rude and be like, "Do you make a living?
Oh, really?
What else do you do?" It's like,
see,
it seems like this is an area
the
where...
only question or it's not even a question, it's a suggestion that I'm really tired of is, "Oh, you should do tattoos." Oh. And I'm like, I don't want to do tattoos.
Like I should do T-shirts.
Yeah, I'm sure you get that. Yeah. Oh, you know what you should do? No, I don't want to do that.
No.
Yeah. And at that point, then I always had to be like, well, I don't have any tattoos. And they're like, why don't you have any tattoos? I'm like, because I'm not a tattoo guy. Like, that's not my thing. So that is the only question I get, or suggestion.
Yep.
That you're just like, oh, really?
Okay.
So you run classes.
Oh, yeah. So I run classes.
Where can people go to find out information about your classes?
The website. inkyhandsprintstudio.com.
And you're on Facebook?
I am.
What about the other social media stuff?
Instagram. I'm definitely on that.
You're definitely on that?
You're
not sure about the other things?
I'm trying to get better with Facebook.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I'm just not very good at updating it. But, Instagram, I'm all over.
Nice.
And, let's see. Yeah, and I'm going to start having more print shows. So this hopefully be having more print-based artists in the gallery.
Oh, so you're going to bring in...
so it's not just me. Yeah. I mean, I
cool.
have enough inventory to start a gallery, but what I'd love is to be introducing other prints. So
kind of the same way that, for our listeners who may have heard Jesse and Eddie from the art shop, they've had 2 podcast episodes. Kat's studio is directly underneath theirs.
Yeah.
And they have a guest studio.
Yep.
So that kind of, you want to kind of do that sort of thing too?
Yeah, or just taking, I mean, I have browsers of unframed prints. I've got lots of wall space. Yeah, so I'll be switching it up. I mean, shows
cool.
for people. I have a lot of a collection where I might start with that. Just start selling some of that off.
Some of the stuff that you're like, I don't know why I bought that. Like, it's cool, but
but I need to clear up some room for some other stuff.
Yeah, that must. So you moved from Texas to Massachusetts.
Oh my gosh,
how much of a nightmare was that?
Oh. Well, it was and it wasn't.
I moved from Plymouth to Carver, and I'm ready to blow my brains out.
Oh my gosh.
I can't.
So I hired professionals. I was back and forth for a very long time, for like 3 months. Should I hire a professional? Should I do it myself? Because I'm someone that likes to do things myself. So I'm like, I can easily drive a moving truck across America. But
Sure you could.
1,800 miles. Yeah, if I stick to the interstates and I hopefully I don't have to pass anyone, but or back up the truck.
Yeah.
But a lot of the equipment is the ongoing joke of my family of why couldn't I have been a painter where I just need an easel and a lot of canvas. It's print studio requires lots of equipment and heavy equipment.
Yeah.
So just the storage drawers alone weigh about 1,000 pounds. Altogether.
Wow.
So, I probably would have, if I did it myself, it would have been 3 trips, I imagine.
Oh, and I'm sure you would have, broken something or blown out your back. Yeah,
and I wanted to start Plymouth off right and not be injured. So I ended up hiring an amazing moving team who came through and packed everything. Except I packed all the artwork. I know that, everything was insured, but I was just to make sure
there's certain things that you're just like, you're not going to pack that.
No. Artwork was on me, but everything else, they came through, and they made things look like they were light as feathers.
Yeah.
They made a, 250-pound drying rack.
I can't imagine that. Like, I hate moving with an absolute passion. I can't imagine doing it for a living.
No, I can't. No.
So shout out to everybody that, does it for a living, because that's impressive.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. But it arrived here in 5 days. It was amazing.
So we briefly mentioned 2020.
Yeah.
Do you have any print plans?
Ooh, glad you asked. Yeah, personal prints, of course.
Yeah.
Those will come out. But I have plans for the gallery, which I think is going to be a little fun. I think I'm going to do a British invasion for the summer. So a lot of
British artists? Or
yeah, I'm going to have a British invasion for the 400th.
That'll be cool.
Yeah. So it's the start of the planning.
Yeah.
Of all things, I had a visitor today who was a technician for the university that I went to over in London.
Oh, that's
and started
awesome.
talking to her. So I think there's going to be a lot of exciting things that are going to happen in the gallery.
Nice.
For 2020.
That'll be very cool. I feel like 2020 is just going to be a blur.
I know.
Because I feel like there's going to be so much going on. It's going to be hard to keep track of. Yeah. Every time you go downtown, you're going to be like, when was this plan? Like, when did this happen?
Yeah.
Or it's just going to be like, you're going to be like, I'm going to run downtown and get a pizza. And you're like, God damn it, there's traffic everywhere. What is going on?
This morning, I was running late. I needed a bagel from Gunther Tootie's. And I was like, I'll just pull over and get a spot. And I had to circle.
Yeah. If anyone from Plymouth Town is listening, we need a parking garage or something.
Yeah.
Town valet.
It was raining. I would have walked from the shop, but I didn't really want to get wet.
Yeah. So I can't tell you how excited we are that you're part of the Plymouth art community.
Thanks.
Because, like I said, from the second you got here, we're like, yeah, she's in. Like, it feels like you have been here forever instead of like. When did you got here? Like 3 months ago? It's just.
I know it really. It does feel like I've been here forever, and I keep looking at the calendar. I'm like, actually, on the 30th, it will be 3 months since I opened.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, I say to people, I'd be like, Inky Hand Studios, and I've never heard of that. I'm like, what do you mean you haven't heard of that? And I'm like, it's right across from Plymouth Memorial Hall. And they're like, is it new? And you're like,
I don't have a sign yet.
Oh, that's right.
If I just get that,
if you get that sign,
get that, it's gonna be so good.
Insurance voucher, or whatever the heck you need.
I didn't even need it. They're just testing me. But other than that, I mean, it was really easy to start a business in Plymouth.
Yeah.
It was less money than Dallas too, which was amazing. But
which is surprising for Plymouth.
Actually, it was
everything else is
a lot.
crazy.
I was like, not bad.
Yeah. So we're looking forward to great things from you.
Thanks.
Don't let us down. No pressure.
Oh, no. I'll still be here.
All right.
Yeah.
And there is a standing invitation for any Inebri-art thing. You're always welcome.
Love it.
And
I need to get to drawing night.
Yeah, it's not. You've
not
been here
pooped.
3 months or whatever,
Jeez,
but it's
now that's bad.
It's only like 4 or 5 that she's missed. It's like I said, I feel like she's been here
forever.
That's
a good amount. I mean, 4 or 5. I know. I'll be at the next.
That's what she let last time.
Last time
for that.
Yeah.
I'll make my minion do more work for me.
Yeah. That's cool too. Now you have an intern. You're like all sorts of professional. Did you have an intern in Dallas?
I did. She was amazing too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did she have a Southern accent?
No, she didn't.
Oh.
No, she didn't. Little, artist
Did she have
to
a
be.
big belt buckle and?
No,
big
actually,
hat?
complete opposite. Yeah,
Yeah.
nothing like that.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought that was like required for Dallas.
I know, I did too. No, not with the younger,
Yeah.
well, some of the younger generation.
So
Yeah, but she really wants to study at RISD. This is my old intern, RISD, or in New York. And so, yeah, she's leaving Texas.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we wish you the best.
Thanks.
Thank you for coming and having a beer with us.
Oh, thank you. It's my pleasure.
And
Thanks for having me.
Of course, anytime. And yeah, so we're looking for big things. We've already been asked to be part of the Winterfest, so I'm assuming you'll have a piece in that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure where we're going to be.
Hopefully it's not like minus 20 degrees like it was last year.
Yeah, but you know what?
It
was really, really cold, but it was perfect.
It was.
Like-
Because it was it fit with the mood.
And there's just like that Charlie Brown snow.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It was
I
really...
hadn't been in snow
great.
in, it was like 6 years.
Yeah.
I hadn't actually been in snow, so that was really magical.
I just feel like I feel like everyone had the right vibe, and businesses were packed, and everyone was downtown. Yeah, it was cold as hell,
Yes.
but I may have had a small breakdown, but that shit happens.
Right, yeah. I was impressed that you guys had an entire show set up over like in a few hours.
From them going, would you like to do this? We don't know where, to everything hung. I believe was 3.5 weeks.
Yeah.
So to this day, when I think about the numbers, I'm like, I don't even know. I was just calling up everybody, being like, give me art, and like how much. I'm like, whatever you have.
I'm gonna say that. Yeah,
Just
yeah.
bring me stuff.
How many pieces? You're like, whatever.
178 is what we ended up with.
178 pieces, 18
Artist,
vendors.
creator type vendors, and
2 live musicians.
Yeah.
That's impressive. I mean, I just do circles in the gallery when I have 20 pieces to hang, so I'm really...
Yeah. But it was almost like
Just come hang for
the
me.
time was, of course. But the time was so tight that you didn't have that, should this go here or this go here? It's just like, put it on the wall. I don't give a shit. Just do
make
it.
sure it's
Do it now.
level.
Do it. Which I think just kind of made it all come together. You didn't have time to overthink it.
Mm-hmm.
So it was an adventure, and thanks for being part of it.
Thanks for having me. I can't wait for the round 2.
I'm curious to see how it goes. It looks like we could end up in the same spot, provided
right. Okay.
they don't go through some sort of major overhaul there in the next 3
I'm
months.
really interested to see what it looks like.
I feel like it's the same. There's paper blocking it, but I don't feel like there's every time I go by there, it doesn't seem like a lot going on there.
No.
So thanks again, and so our listeners can go check you out on your website again.
Oh, inkyhandsprintstudio.com.
And sorry,
Sorry. And I'm KatLiBretto.com.
Kat LiBretto. Oh, so you have 2 websites.
I have 2 websites.
Show off.
Oh, it's like having 2 personalities.
Is there a difference between the 2? Or?
Yeah, so you can actually see where the gallery and the studio is heading with inkyhandsprintstudio.com.
Okay.
There's other work on there. It's not just me. There's the education page, which describes all the workshops and classes and short courses and
cool.
The open access program and the publishing services, like everything that we can do in the studio at the moment.
Yeah.
And my own personal website is just my own artwork.
Just your artwork.
Yeah.
Just that.
Just that.
Just that.
Just that. It's all of it.
Don't waste your
though.
time with that one. Or for the time being, they can go down to the Mal Bar and check out the art that's hanging on the wall, because that's your stuff there.
Yeah. Yep,
So
that's all
probably be there
the
for like
national park.
another month and a half or so.
Perfect. Okay.
So go down there and check out some great food too, because
Oh, it's so yummy.
it's so good. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so I'm going to say it again. Thanks again for joining us, and thanks for everyone for listening.
Yeah, thanks for listening, everyone.
And thanks for checking out the show today, listeners. If you enjoyed the content today, you can go over to patreon.com/Inebri-art to support the show. You can join over there for just a few dollars a month and help us provide this fun content that you just checked out. You can also email us at Inebri-art.com with your questions, complaints, and concerns, or you can find us on all social medias at Inebri-art or at Inebri-art6 on Instagram. And also don't forget to check out our other shows, Bar Talk Podcast, Old Colony Cast, Inebri-art, and all the other shows on the Inebri-art Network, which you can find at Inebri-art.com. Thanks again for listening.